This clip is brought to you by Super 6, a free-to-play app where if you predict 6 correct football scorelines every week, you get the chance to win 250 grand. That's absolutely unbelievable. They're back in the club. On a smaller note, if you beat Rory, Adam and myself in our league, the Club S6, you get the chance to win 100 quid at classic football shirts every single week. That's an unbelievable deal. Make sure you check it out, download the app and play Super 6.
You're watching a clip from the Club podcast.
Make sure you follow it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give it a 5-star review.
So here you go. Here's a lovely clip from our podcast. So this week, Liverpool battered Leeds, got a good win for them, although I think anyone could win at Ellen Road right now. I even think us three would have a chance if we rocked up there to get 3 points.
Score.
Do you think they go?
Leeds, I hope so. But what we want to talk about right now is Liverpool and their potential rebuild in the summer. We've heard they're not buying Jude Bellingham, and I kind of get it. I think Jude Bellingham's a fantastic talent, but for 120 million plus, you're probably going to be splashing out on him. Like Rory says, and I think Rory makes a valid point, he might not even move in the summer. I think it makes sense to look elsewhere and potentially bring in 2 players or 3 players for that amount of money that will bolster your squad. But what do Liverpool have to do in this summer to get back to challenging for all 4 trophies?
I really don't know. It's got to the stage now where I really am just baffled by it because, you know, at one point you would have said, if they sign a central midfielder, a Bellingham type player, they'll be back to former glories fairly easily. But it's not like that anymore because the form of Van Dijk is like all over the place. Like Alisson has played very well this season, has sort of kept them in it. But you know, the old stalwarts, the proper players in that team that Klopp has been able to rely on, they're not playing as well as they should be. So I don't really know what the solution is here because do they need another centre half? Not necessarily to replace Van Dijk, but to partner Van Dijk. Yeah. You know, you can't pair him up with Gomez anymore. You know,
I think Konate's a lot closer to that kind of replacement or slash the partner to Van Dijk.
A little bit of a shocker, didn't he?
I think if you get the midfield thing is a big debate because if you get that right, that gives protection to Van Dijk. Because I think Fabinho's been shocking this season, in my opinion.
He has been.
I think if you can sign 3 midfielders, I don't know what you lads think in terms of the actual names being linked, but I think if you do, Mason Mount's a big name, maybe not, but someone like Caicedo,
free, by the way. Is he available on a free?
Yeah.
If he leaves, it would be that, wouldn't
cheap because you've got a year left.
Okay, so they're looking to get him.
Caicedo
really
70 mil, and then you get a McAllister from Brighton. So you've got 3 hungry players all trying to prove themselves for less than 150 mil.
Do you think you can do that? Sign a new midfield in one summer?
You know who's looking like
it complements Fabinho. It complements Thiago.
So you don't necessarily play them all. You sign Sanchez.
Thiago's gone, bro. I think Thiago's gone.
We don't know. But
that move hasn't worked out. I think Ryan Gravenberch is a tap-in, possibly. I'd take him at United. I think any Premier League club could take him. He's gone to Bayern Munich from Ajax. His move hasn't worked out, and he's looking for another move. Liverpool looks like a clever move for Gravenberch. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
So loud, I don't know.
He doesn't know who I'm talking about, does he?
What?
You know who I'm talking about? Yeah.
Look at him.
Why are you looking at me? You don't know who he is.
Me laughing.
If it's Dan Petrescu, he knows who he is.
You know.
I know, he's a talented kid, Dutch kid. Plays for Bayern.
Who did he play for?
Bayern.
Who did he play for?
PSV.
Lads, this just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a football YouTuber, you too can do it.
Why are you looking at me? Roy didn't know who he was. I've heard about the rumours. I was going to say I don't think it's the right move. But
I think it's one. Yeah, if it's one of
number
2 or
7,
3,
yeah, maybe.
No. I think if it's one of 2 or 3, that's a fantastic move.
Yeah.
Give me something he's done of note. Now bring it back to Adam.
He's a talented player. He's a talented player.
What's he good at?
He hasn't worked out at Bayern Munich because they've got a midfield that have a lot of players in there.
No, but if you were to talk to me about Gravenberch's best attributes,
his ability as a number 8 to pass the ball, recycle the ball, move forward, keep him.
Why aren't Bayern keeping him, mate?
Because he hasn't fit in this season. It's for the same reason never kits Marcel Sabitzer.
I know what you're saying.
Marcel Sabitzer
ended
up
up
at Man United.
3 Premier League proven players that are hungry. Caicedo, McAllister. You could both get.
Caicedo's going to be a big box though, bro. 80 mil.
If you get both of them for 130, that is better than Jude Bellingham.
130 is not what they're ready to spend though. That's the problem. I think
the issue is it's just 40 mil.
I think
it's probably like close to 80.
80.
But then that might be his entire. Remember that they've spent quite a lot of money recently. You know, Gakpo went there recently. It was only
Diaz a year ago.
Yeah, Diaz a year ago. Nunes a year ago. It's there's a lot of spend that has happened, and I just wonder now if the kitty isn't quite as deep as it's meant to be.
I think we can get 2 or 3. I think if you can go and get a Nunes for 85, 90 million pound, I think you can go and get Caicedo for 70. You know, I think you can go and do it if you're Liverpool.
Does Caicedo realistically go for 70 though? Is he a 70 million pound player?
Close to it.
He's probably 80.
He's not going to be less than
based on
50
the market,
million, is he?
It's crazy.
He's not going to be less than 50
It's
million. Let's
obscene
be
money.
real. Yeah.
But
He's a
Liverpool
very
have to
good
compete, and Klopp deserves it. And the only thing I'd say about Liverpool, based on the Leeds performance, the final 5 minutes where they're pressing off the ball, working hard. I know it's been a really indifferent season for Liverpool, but there are glimpses, very, very few glimpses, even how they smashed Man United, that Liverpool side, they're not a million miles away. They're a lot close. They're closer to winning the Premier League title next season than Man United are, in my opinion.
No.
Based on the starting 11. But based on the starting, if Salah clicks, he can score 30 goals in a season. They've got that on tap. They got Alisson, they got Van Dijk, they got Thiago in midfield.
Van
They're a lot
Dijk's finished, by the
closer.
way.
They know how to win a Premier League.
Van Dijk's never going to be that defender.
Yeah, but they can
He's done and
protect it. If they
dusted.
get a McAllister who runs 13 kilometre a game, it's not bad. It's not. That's all I'm saying.
They do need to change that midfield and revolutionise that midfield. And the problem for them is as well, Diaz has been injured, who gave them a lot of width. Hakpo is a decent player, but he's not going to change everything on his own. Darwin Núñez completely changes the style of that front three. So they have to kind of almost figure things out again. When they had Salah and they had Mane and they had Firmino, do
you think that
they
front
knew
three
what they were going to
clicks?
do?
Are we missing
and I don't
something
think they
then?
have that shape.
Does the
maybe.
new front three click?
Not yet. I think
It has to
Hakpo-
click next year. Like
Has
it's
to
the
click.
front three.
I think they need someone else in there to make it.
But we're talking about a midfield. We've missed a really big thing here. Is it Trent in midfield? Do they find a way? Do they sign a right back for 35, 40 mil?
Booth, I found
and they
that
shove
so.
Trent
I found
in
that
midfield.
off the back of one
I know. I agree.
performance
Against Leeds, you let anyone play.
Yeah.
But surely Klopp's looking at Arteta, who's managed to do it with Zinchenko within a year, and then he's seeing John Stones popping up in midfield. That's what I'm saying.
Hang on.
Is Klopp looking at those guys?
Let's just analyse. Firstly, I don't think you can compare anything to City because City are in such a fortunate situation with so many good players, and virtually everyone that City play doesn't try and win the game. So, like, everybody is very happy with the draw against Man City, so the pressure is very different. Secondly, Trent Alexander-Arnold with the ball is just phenomenal. You know, he can see things and play passes that other footballers can't even see. That's one very, very specific attribute of being a midfielder. Do you know the list of all of the other things you do as a midfielder? They're not him.
I agree.
Like, he's not a midfielder.
But do you think Klopp will be tempted to try and make it work? Now? If
As
they
what, a
can't go and get
box-to-box
three,
midfield?
no, as someone that covers, where Zinchenko tucks into midfield. You know, John Stones isn't bombing forward. You know, he's not playing as a number 10. He's playing as a kind of deep line midfielder, like a Rodri.
Let's say then you got the Bellingham money. What we agreed at on 120,
120-ish.
120, 130. What would you do with that money? Would you splash it all on a Bellingham type, or would you say
No, I think it's
Caicedo
three
or Mount?
players. Look, I think what
Mount's
they need
been linked
is,
with them massively as well.
I know the maths here don't add up to the number that you said. I think you need to add a little bit more to it and get 3 50 million pound players.
Yeah, I'd get McAllister ahead of Mount for me. I'd rather get McAllister
Mount's a
ahead of
shrewd deal for anyone, I think. I'd take Mount at Manchester United.
I worry about
As a player that comes into the squad, he can play a number 8, he can play a number 10. He can play even out on the left or the right if you want him
If
to.
Liverpool were to sign Mason
be
Mount, he
huge for
becomes
Klopp.
he
He'd be
becomes
huge for
one of
Klopp.
Liverpool's best players. Definitely.
Bro, look what Klopp did to Jordan Henderson and them, man.
Yeah, and Mason Mount.
Imagine what he'd do to someone with football ability.
I'd worry. That's what that's just my gut instinct. I'd worry about that move.
Mason Mount would be,
I would.
mate,
What, you
it'd
think
be
Mason Mount
as good a
doesn't-
signing as Jude Bellingham for Liverpool. As good.
No, he's nowhere near the level. Jude
With
Bellingham.
what Klopp would do to him,
when-
he would be.
Obviously, they're different players.
would
but
be.
Jude Bellingham is operating at a world class level. Mason Mount is nowhere near
We're
world class.
forgetting here. Mason Mount set up the winner in a Champions League final.
He scored in the
Mason
semi-final
Mount,
against
so did
Real
Wes Brown.
Madrid.
Yeah, Wes Brown was one of the best
No, he
English
wasn't. No, he
fullbacks of all time and
No way.
centre backs.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
No,
all time.
I think
Both.
I think you're too
All
harsh
time.
on Mount. Like Mount, some of the goals that Mount has scored are exceptional finishes. Like he's an exceptional
Mason Mount's a
goal scorer.
footballer. Whether you like it or not, he's a footballer.
I respect your opinion about it. I'm not trying to say that anyone's wrong here. I don't think he's as.
He might be a bit lightweight.
I think that's what he's a little bit lightweight.
Very good in a tackle, though.
He's got a little bit of spite about
I
him.
feel like he's one of them. He's a Chelsea player. I think you take him into Liverpool, and I think he struggles a little bit. I do. I just don't. I don't see it translating to another side.
I think if Klopp's
It was
still
naive
there,
to say that. I'm prepared to dart
if
my sword
Klopp's
about
still
that.
there, Mason Mount would be a huge signing. And in fact, I go on to say signing Caicedo and Mason Mount would be better for Liverpool than signing Jude
In terms of the squad depth, you're right, 1,000,000%. Yeah.
because
course.
their midfield will be almost complete then. Maybe
Yeah.
Fabinho comes good next season
Thiago's fully fit.
because he's not going to be this bad again, is he?
Get rid of Ox.
I think that's
they
the
need
goal.
They have to get rid of a couple of players.
No,
Firmino's
not a
leaving.
couple. They have to get rid
Kiter.
of. There could be in terms of the revolving door. In fact, this is something we should discuss. It's not only about who signs for Liverpool. It's about that revolving door, getting players out. Keita needs to go. Oxlade-Chamberlain needs to go. I think you could argue that Thiago Alcantara hasn't worked. Joe Gomez isn't good enough. Curtis Jones isn't good enough. When you think about that back line, isn't that Phillips still there? I swear he is.
Not sure.
I swear he
Haven't
is.
seen him recently.
No, he left, I think.
Yeah.
He is there. No, he's there.
Nico Williams left, right?
Yeah, but
Couple
I
of those
said,
lads.
I said Joe.
So, no, I just got confused. They're both as bad as each other.
Yeah, I think that the revolving door at Liverpool really does need to get revolving.
That's a lot of money spent as well.
Get revolving.
Get revolving.